Hello, today we're looking at the Heavenly Bodies Astrology Oracle Deck by Lily Ashwell. So, I have been blown away by how helpful this deck has been for my personal natal chart journey. Do I know anything about my natal chart? No. I have one. I have several. But they mean very, very little. And still, even though I've been working with this, it still means very little when I'm researching it and like, what does Venus in Aquarius? No, Pisces mean? That's where Venus is for me. So this deck helps exactly with that. And the way the cards and the wording on the cards is structured helps form a sentence when learning that. I did not figure this out. It's written in the book, so it's not like it's a aha moment. But Lisa Papez, I was watching YouTube walkthroughs and I was trying to find an astrology deck that would work for me. And Lisa Papez was doing a walkthrough with this one. And as she was doing the walkthrough, she discovered exactly that, what the deck is, how the deck is used, basically. And it was really cool to see her figure it out and explain it. And I was like, that's it. That's the one. Not necessarily for my learning astrology journey. I think this deck is more going to be for my learning my birth chart journey. So I think I'm still on the hunt for an astrology learning deck. This one will do for now, for sure, because I've been just enthralled with everything to do with it. So first, we're going to back it up. This isn't going to be a full-blown unboxing. I'm not going to go through all the cards with you. I currently have them separated into their sections, but first we're going to back it up and look at the basics, talk about the basics. So it comes in this box. It's a pretty big, pretty hefty box. It's got some information on the back. Learn, decode, communicate. Great. Oh yeah. Large keepsake box. Hand illustrated. 144 page guidebook, 51 soulful hand illustrated astrology cards in a 2-piece box. I'm not a fan of these. What do I do with this now? Like, I guess just kind of fold it down and put it in storage. I don't know. However, I will say this box can definitely be used for other things. It does have this on the side, but whatever, I don't mind it. Open it up. Attention to detail, definitely. It is a hardcover book. Now, initially you're like, oh my gosh, that's so fancy, a hardcover book. But I'm not actually a hardcover fan. I like my books to be bendable when I'm reading them. And also when you piece together those two covers, they take up a lot of space. So I prefer soft cover books. However, it is impressive. I will say, impressive. Box within a box. Here we have this one. You can pause to read that. It's not going to be an unboxing, as I said, so. All right. The cardstock is very flimsy. Like, it doesn't feel flimsy, but it warps very easily. And in fact, this deck was very warped when I opened it, to the point where I had to take every card when I was watching TV and curl it. Put it down, do the next one, to try and get them to go back to a flat shape. And it's not perfect, but it's so much better than it was, as you can see in the photo. This box, there's an insert in the bottom. So the box could have even been smaller, I think. I'm not sure why. I don't know. Not sure why. So this deck was expensive. It was 56 Canadian dollars on Amazon. And that's way too much for an oracle deck. I try to keep my oracle decks, my mass market oracle decks, in the $30 to $40 range. Try to keep them closer to the $30 mark. I like my mass market tarot decks to be no more than 40, which makes sense to me because there's usually 78 cards in a tarot deck, so you're getting more. So I allow for that price point to be up to $40, again, Canadian. And then with Oracle decks, you're usually looking at 44 cards. For some reason, that's the magic number with Oracle decks. So there's less cards, therefore I feel like it should be less money. Now the hardcover book probably contributed to that being a little more. I think this was indie before it was mass market, but I looked for some indie unboxings on YouTube, half-assed, mind you. It was definitely a half-assed look, and I couldn't find any. So here we are with the mass market version, and now let's break these up and go back to how it was before. All right, so now we're back to my slightly adjusted piles. So I've filmed this video so many times. I can't remember what I've said and what I haven't said, and now I'm starting over. All right, so we have our book. One of the things that was really important to me with an astrology deck was that I can use it as a regular old oracle. It doesn't have to strictly only be used as a astrology learning deck or an astrology deck. This deck does have what's called an omen, and that is your regular meaning. So cool, I like it, perfect. However, right now I'm using it for astrology, and I will not be changing up the order of the cards. I'm keeping them in their respective piles because I want to use it for mostly my natal chart. Also predicting the future, we'll talk about it. Also moon stuff, we'll talk about it. And I don't want to constantly be looking for the cards throughout the entire deck. So we're keeping it the way it is right now. Book. So you can go to her website as well and get your birth chart, which we're going to show. I'm going to talk about it. I love that she has this in here. It's where she created the deck. I love seeing where people create, especially create something that I have in my possession. Love it. All right, so she talks about the planets, signs of the zodiac, houses, major aspects, elements, polarity, which is your yin and yang, the modes, we've got cardinal, fixed, mutable, and the last should be the nodes, north and south node. So this deck, I should also say, I did say this in a previous video where I was using the Venus card to create my Venus in Transits journal. This deck is not my aesthetic. I don't like that there's birds in every house card. I don't like that some of the zodiac signs don't have the typical, like Cancer doesn't have a crab on it. I think Cancer, I think crab. It's missing a crab. It has a seashell. I don't love the color palette. I don't love the cardstock. But when Lisa Papez did a walkthrough of this deck, she kind of figured out how it was supposed to be used as she was doing the walkthrough. She got super excited. She paused it. She did exactly what I've done here and put them in their piles and then talked about how you're supposed to use it. She probably does it way better than I am, so we're going to link it for you to check out. The way this deck is set up, there's like sentences, like the keywords on the card are a little different. So we've got sun, self-express and embody truth. It makes sense, for sure it makes sense, but it's not really the typical wording you would see on a sun card. And it's done that way intentionally to form sentences to predict the future, dismantle your birth chart, what's the word I'm looking for? Understand. There's a word I'm looking for, it's gone. Talk about the moons, as I said. There's lots of things you can do. Learn astrology. So basic. I'm not going to do this. She talks about this. So we'll just use her example in the book. how to learn. So she has the Earth card, and then she has Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn for all the Earth signs. So she says, starting off, do this with every zodiac sign, match it up to its element, and then do your analysis. She talks about the analysis in the book. Because Earth is persistent, patient, and practical, all Earth signs share these general qualities. So do that for each sign. That's a very basic one. That's something I should be doing, but most people probably already know that information. Big deal. Let's get into the first time I filmed this, I did this kind of in a weird way. So we're going to go to the birth chart first. I didn't do this before. But you talk about your birth chart and the planets and the signs. Basic, basic, basic. My moon is in Capricorn. Let's do that one. Woo. Moon. Capricorn. Okay. So I satisfy emotional needs, nurture self and others through, again, the word through that goes here, she explains it in the book. I'm not just making it up. I'm not just pulling it out of a hat. And it is something that I do struggle with when kind of doing other spreads from my zodiac or my natal chart. But you figure it out. So I satisfy emotional needs, nurture self and others through ambition, realism, and methodical steps. I am not ambitious, so that's not me. But realism and methodical steps, yes. So I nurture myself through methodical steps. Now, what house am I? What house is this? 12? 11. Let's add a little spice. I satisfy emotional needs, nurture self and others through ambition, realism, and methodical steps in the realm of friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. Ambition. Maybe I am ambitious. Hold on. I nurture myself through ambition in the realm of like-minded groups and humanitarian beliefs. Maybe ambition can work with the like-minded groups because I'm going to use the Venus in transit thing as an example. I have dove in headfirst with that. And the only reason I did that was because BB posted about it in the Discord. So it can work. Sometimes I am ambitious. Very rarely though. And I don't think it'll last the whole year. I'll be stunned if I make it to November of this year. Cool, right? Really cool. So you can break down, I'm still trying to think of the word I was thinking of. You can break down your natal chart in so many ways using this deck. You can go through every single planet. You can go through every single house, every single zodiac sign and break it down. We don't need to do all of that here. I'm just giving examples. We're just talking about the deck and how to use it. And I don't know that people realize the deck can be used in this way. So if you are wanting to research your birth chart, recommend. Definitely recommend. I want to try the conjunction, but in the last version of this video that I tried to film, it fell apart. I'm not good at conjunctions. So I'm just going to use, not conjunctions, the aspects. I'm reading it on the card. I'm just going to use the sample she has in the book. So let's say Jupiter, we're going to try and do it with the cards too. Oh, my Lanta. Okay, BRB. Okay, we are tight on space. That's why I didn't want to do this example, but it's so much better when you have a visual. And I think that's why this deck works so well, because it creates a visual for you. So the example in the book, she shows the chart and she says, so with square, because there's a 90-degree angle between the planets on the chart above, they are engaged in a major aspect called a square. Most people probably know this. I do not. So we've got Jupiter in Aries in house 7, it is square the sun in Cancer in house 10, right? The analysis for this lovely ran out of space line of cards is your ability to grow through independence and bravery in the realm of profound relationships is confronted with a challenge. So confronted would be the sentence that goes here, the word that goes in between. Confronted with a challenge involving how you self-express. So involving would be the word in between these two cards. Involving how you self-express through nurture in the realm of your life mission. So that would take a minute for me to break down. There's also different, like she was only taking one word from each card. So you could do it with using different words. You grow and expand through passion in the realm of romantic partnerships. Confronted with, I'm going to keep this as challenge because the other word is a mountain to climb. Confronted with a challenge involving how you embody truth through protection in the realm of structure and discipline. That makes a lot of sense using those words. So you would definitely have to sit and play with this. There's so many different sentences that can be formed with the different words. I would have to get out a book and write everything out and really break it down and really analyze the different sentences that can work here and what I connect with, what makes sense to me and what doesn't. And then if there is something that doesn't make sense, I might unpack that as well. Why doesn't that make sense? Do I think that that's not me? Maybe it is me and there's some resistance to it. You know, all kinds of things. Such a great example. And on her website, you can do your birth chart. Oh no, I had it up and I just lost everything. So here's my birth chart from her website. And it's kind of interactive, but it gives you an aspect key. So the aspects are different colors, which there aren't any on here yet. We'll talk about that in a second. A legend for the symbols, and then your cosmic placements. It breaks it down, all your cosmic placements. Then your major aspects. And I think that's it. Yep. But what's cool about this is when you're wanting to do this spread for yourself, if you're not sure what your aspects are, okay, let's, sun. And it gives you, it is square Taurus? Would that be Taurus or Gemini? Don't know. In house 2. Moon. We got lots of things going on with the moon. So it is in opposition with Cancer in house 4. What's the orange one? Sextile. Maybe Scorpio? This birth chart confuses me where the lines don't add up to the houses. Again, still something I'm working on, but cool that you can do it this way. It's interactive. So that's how you would play around with that. This one is a little more complicated. It's quite the sentence here. This one I haven't played around with myself because it scares me. Okay, so now now that we got the big one out of the way, let's talk about the moon, because this was really cool, I found. So unfortunately with the moon, you can only do full moon, which for me, don't love it because I don't do a lot of work with the full moon. I tend to do most of my moon work with the new moon because that's the beginning of a cycle. The full moon is the midpoint. And for me, I don't do a lot of work at the midpoint. Like you kind of like, okay, where am I at? How am I doing with my goals and my intentions? Yes, good, no, bad, like break it down. I don't really, I like the energy of the full moon, but I don't work with it a lot. They're fun, they're pretty to look at, but I would prefer a new moon card. There's also no ascending card in this deck, which I would love to have had an ascending card. Not here. Okay, back to the moon. So tonight, I'm filming this ahead of when I'm going to post it. So tonight we have a full moon in Virgo. So this moon has come and gone for you watching. Full moon, Virgo. So, pretty basic, right? Except it's not, because she talks about the opposition. So the sun and moon, when the moon is full, and maybe that's why there's only a full moon card, I don't know, but when the moon is full, the sun and moon are directly opposite one another, engaging in an opposition. When this happens, they sit in opposite signs. So then she gives you a breakdown of opposite signs. So you don't have to go looking it up. You don't have to look at a chart. She tells you. So Virgo is opposite Pisces. So we get our opposition. Oh, come on. So what is it opposite? The sun. Where is it opposite? Pisces. Let's get these out of the way so we don't confuse ourselves. All right, here is our sentence for the full moon tonight. So this is actually perfect timing for me because I'll be able to see how this works out. So the sentence is, when the full moon is in Virgo, it satisfies emotional needs through integrity, reverence, and service. However, it's confronted with a power struggle or an imbalance. Again, you play around with the words. It's confronted with a power struggle involving self-expression in intimacy, intuition, and compassion. So you satisfy emotional needs through integrity and service. Let's try that. However, that is confronted with an imbalance or a point of tension involving how I embody truth, or how we embody truth, because this is the same for everyone, with compassion. So you're nurturing yourself or nurturing others through service. However, there is it's confronted with an imbalance or a point of tension. I like those ones better for this particular wording. It's confronted with an imbalance or point of tension in how you embody truth with compassion. Ooh, that's heavy. Now, for me, I don't feel that this sentence works because this is going to sound bad, but I haven't been servicing anybody. I've been hermiting. I've been kind of doing my own thing. I've been home watching my reality TV. I know it's bad. There's so much on right now, though. Love is Blind. Hi. Anyway, so I kind of really haven't been servicing other people. Ooh, but maybe that's the problem. So satisfying emotional needs or nurturing self and others. Service and integrity would work for that. A challenge or a point of tension or an imbalance in expressing and compassion in self-expression and embodying truth, that works for me. And it's because it's the opposite of what I said. I have not been servicing anybody. Mine's out of the gutter, friends. I think I've been pretty selfish in my hermiting. I haven't been reaching out. I haven't been talking to my friends or doing anything or making plans. So that works. See, you got to play. You got to play with it. You got to play with the wording, play with the different words, take them out, piece them together in a different way. Love it. Do love it. Now, the part that made me absolutely drop the book. I'm reading this book, okay? I'm doing the things. I've read this book cover to cover. That should mean nothing for you though, because I can't tell you if it's right or wrong. I would love it if there would be a professional astrologer, someone who knows their stuff, to review these decks and be able to say, I don't see it that way, or this is kind of not accurate. I'm not that person for you. I don't know. Can't tell you. But, oh my goodness. The Nodes of Destiny. I was reading this book. I got to this part. The north and south nodes are two opposing points in the sky. They're not celestial bodies, but moving energetic hotspots based on the moon's orbit. The north node links to destiny and what you're moving towards, whereas the south node links to past lives and what you're moving away from. The location of these nodes at any time of your birth reveal your destiny and karma in this lifetime. The nodes and your future. Can astrology help predict your future? Yes. Okay, so she does say the future isn't fixed. Okay, you are a spiritual being having a human experience, and your life is happening for you, not to you. The future isn't fixed. The physical reality moves and changes as you surrender into or resist the current of your highest path. Okay, preface it by saying that. So the North Node, I want to know my future, please. North Node. Where is it in my chart? Let's get out ye old chart. This one, I'm using this one because it's like everything is equal. It makes more sense to me as a baby astrology person. North Node is in Cancer, in house 5. Okay. See there, it should be a crab. It's a shell. Cancer. 3, 4, 5. This is my future, everyone. Let's just enjoy the suspense for a second. I've already read it and I've already forgot it, so it's not suspenseful for me. So the North Node is the desire to have. Again, you're moving towards you want to have. Whereas the South Node is desire to release, or destined to release. Sorry, destined, not desire, destined to release. Okay. And then we've got these ones, which we've already talked about. So the analysis is, I am destined to have comfort and protection. Let's go with those words. In the realm of confidence and creativity. I'm not having children, so it's definitely not children. I'm destined to have comfort in the realm of passion. That could work. Comfortably confident could work. Comfortably creative. Protection. Maybe other people's kids will protect me. Let's hope. Yeah, so again, play around. So then when I was reading the book, I was like, well, I don't know. This is the future. I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know if this is what my future looks like. Let's do a test. Let's talk about my past, because I can say if that's accurate or not. Where is my South Node? Capricorn. In house 11. Okay. So the wording is, I'm destined with my South Node in Capricorn in house 11. I am destined to release ambition, realism, and methodical steps in the realm of friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. All right, so what am I releasing? This is weird because these words are things you don't want to release. At least I don't. I don't want to release ambition. Oops, I'm bumping my camera. I don't want to release realism. And I don't want to release methodical steps. And I certainly don't want to release those things in the realm of my friends or humanitarian beliefs or like-minded groups. This one doesn't work for me. Do not believe. But again, just because I've read it this second and it's not resonating doesn't mean I can't unpack this a little bit further. Again, journal it out, write it down, and play. You can also go to the book. I don't like those keywords. Fine. So let's go to the book and find more keywords. So it breaks it down into 3: energetics, experiences, and shadow. The shadow words are overly serious, relentlessly driven, that's not me, and unfeeling. So I'm destined to release being overly serious in friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. Don't agree. I'm destined to release unfeeling, probably a better word we can use for that, in the realm of friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. Okay. Destined to release a sense of duty to friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. That could work. Not for me, though. Destined to release responsibility in the realm of friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. Still not me. I resonate with that one a little more. Just from a people-pleasing aspect, as I'm sure we all do. I'm a people pleaser. All of us people pleasers resonate with that. Learning to say no as you get older, as everyone tells you, as you get older, you do learn to say no, stand up for yourself a little more. Don't be such a pushover. And that is something that that's starting to happen slowly. I still have moments where I'm like, yes. But we all do. When we're recovering people pleasers. So anyway, that's the deck. I hope I did it justice. I hope I explained things. Again, not a professional. I was just going by the samples in the deck. So someone who knows a little more about it could probably benefit by it way more than what I have just explained. But again, not my normal aesthetic, not my normal jam. But I'm glad I gave it a chance. This is one of those weird examples where picking a deck that you wouldn't have normally picked because you don't like the aesthetic has worked out. I would never buy a deck where I don't like the aesthetic. Ever. But this one, I think in its uses, why are you bent? It works. I can get over the aesthetics. Some of them aren't bad. Like I don't mind them, but I just don't, meh, you know? Okay, this is me going through the cards. I hope you enjoyed your flip through. And that's it. That's the Heavenly Bodies Astrology Oracle deck. It was fun filming this thrice for you guys.